Welcome to Trades Don't Judge You podcast. Very special guest tonight. Hey guys, look, I've always wondered who and how does my electricity come back on after the power goes out? How can I get that type of training? Well, look, we got a very special guest tonight named Marion, Utility Service Provider. So, wherever you are in whatever state you are, your service provider, power service provider, utility service provider in Texas here, we have Encore. So Encore, they provide the power from the electricity grid. So Marion, he's gonna uh, share his journey on how he started doing uh, lineman type work. And what's funny was that how I met Marion, I met him because he came out on a job and he's the one that came out to disconnect the power from me because I had to reinstall a meter base. So the power had to be cut off and had to be cut back on. So he came out and reconnected. I'm sorry, he came out and disconnected the power and reconnected the power. And when I first saw him, I was really impressed because he came in and got it done, and he kind of reminded me of myself maybe when I was 10 years younger. So without further ado, I'm gonna add Marion on to the live stream. Hey Marion, how you doing How you doing today?
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. I'm doing all right.
Oh yeah, man. No problem. Before you came on, I was telling the guest that when I first met you, you came out to a job that I was on, and you had to disconnect the power from the pole, and then you have to come back and reconnect it after I had completed the job. So that's how me and Marion first met. And I was telling them that when I first met you, that you impressed me, and so I said I had to at least uh, for a future date, I had to at least share my YouTube page with them. This was maybe like a year. I think it was last winter because it still had a little. It was still kind of chilly outside, so I think it was last winter, maybe March, April, maybe April, something around that time, March or April. So and like I said, he impressed me, so I said I at least got to give him my YouTube page. So maybe at a later date, we can I can have him on the show, or we can do something together. So and it's not often that you meet someone else that look like you, that's a service provider that does the actual power, incoming power to your house. So just wanted to give you a brief introduction, Marion, to let the people know a little bit about you. And you can kind of go a little bit into um, how did you get started into service work? You know, how old are you? How old were you when you got started? Was someone in your family doing utility work, or did you just see it online, or how did that get started for you?
Yeah. My name is Marion. I work for Encore. I'm a subcontractor for Encore for a company called Standard Utility,
Okay.
and
Yep.
they're
Yep.
they're a contractor for Encore. So, but how I got started was before started working here, I had no experience in this field at all. I was working at an animal shelter, and
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
So
Interesting.
yeah, so no experience before this time. But my step pops, he actually recommended this job to me. It
Okay.
was like 2018, I believe, and
Mm.
so I applied for the job. I went ahead and got it. He put in a good word for me, and it worked out.
So wait.
So
So hold on. Well, before you go to hold on, I don't want to miss what you just said. So can you go back to the part you said you were working at the animal shelter, and then you said your step pop, he's the one that referred you. So did you say that he was doing lineman work at the time,
yeah,
or
yeah, he
wow?
was
Okay,
at the time. Yeah,
okay. So basically, you just went from working at an animal shelter to going to something that you had no clue about.
exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But but yeah, where was I at?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt you. You were saying as far as uh that's how you had got into it with your step pop. You had That's how you had gotten into it.
Yeah, he recommended it to me. I went ahead and applied and did the interview and everything. I pretty much had it wrapped up. Like they didn't. Uh, he put in a good word for me. I just say that.
Okay.
But yeah.
So with your interview, it wasn't like nothing like super hard. It was just a basic interview, or did they require you to have any type of electrical experience?
No,
Or
I
wow.
didn't have any experience. At least not for this specific line of work. Um,
Okay.
but I know they have programs where you do have to like they have classes and stuff
Hmm,
that
hmm.
you do. Um, but for this, you just really had to. So we have every time you have a skill level, we have skill levels, and every time you go up a level,
Mm.
you that's when you get a raise, and you get more experience. You start learning more. You go to class for each skill level. So we have skill B, skill A, then we have serviceman 1, serviceman 2, and serviceman 3.
Wow.
Right now I'm at serviceman 2. So, they when you go to class for these skills, they teach you everything you need to know about what you're about to go into and out in the field and stuff. So that's where you get all your knowledge from mostly when you're not in the field.
Okay. So so when you first get hired on, so I'm assuming you working with someone day to day? Are
Yes,
you yeah, go ahead.
I do ride with you do ride with someone for like well it depends on how far along like you
Okay, yeah.
take like it depends on you. So if you learning you own everything and you trying to get through it, you might get in your first truck, which is probably going to be a service body. With me, I started with doing FSR work. So that's just we just go house to house and
Mhm.
pull out meters and replace the meters.
Okay.
So yeah, I actually rode with a couple people. Like I'm a late bloomer. Like it took me a while to get acclimated into everything, start learning everything because I don't know. My heart wasn't in it at first.
Mm.
Over time, I started picking up stuff slowly and start learning the business of it. So
Okay. Man, okay, so you say wow, so that's awesome, man. So you say you went from working in an animal shelter to doing something completely opposite, you know. Um, wow. Okay, so um now when you talked about the training school, can you go into so when you talked about I think you said it's like a class A, or I'm not sure how you said it, but like so I'm assuming each class is would it be equal to like a another certification, or is it equal to like where one class is where you can do a certain type of work and you can be out on your own, or is it just to where does that make sense what I'm trying to ask you?
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just for a certain type of work. Like
Oh, okay.
before, before like before you become a serviceman 1, when you go in for the class, you really just learning more stuff as each class. Like you
Okay.
learning, like you may learn about how to make connections in the energized source, whether that's a handhold or a pedestal or a transformer. You just learning the proper PPE. You
Mm.
know, you just really just learning everything you need to be when you before you go out on the field.
So what would you say would be so when you made your transition from or hold on, let me back up because I don't want to go too far. So when you were saying so when you worked at the animal shelter, did you had you already known about service work prior to that, or did you have any did you even know that you can actually there was a job? Did you have a clue that there was an extra job, or or
Only I only knew about it through my step pops, but you know, when I was working at the shelter, I was like it was like a year and a half removed from me graduating high school. So that was
Oh,
the shelter was just something I was doing,
okay.
just make money. And so and I
Mm,
knew I was gonna need something, something more, something bigger,
mhm, mhm,
to
mhm.
make money. 'Cause, the shelter that was cool, but it wasn't
Yeah,
it
yeah.
wasn't bills.
Okay,
But
so yeah, go ahead, go ahead. I'm sorry.
but yeah, so I got recommended this the standard utility job, and my steppops he can tell you more about it than I can, but
Oh no, no, you're doing fine. Yeah, it's
yeah,
perfect. So how old were you when you made a transition from the shelter to the standard utility? How old did you say you were?
this was 2018, so I'll say I was like 19 or 20.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay. So and so basically your journey was kind of like mine. I went to college for 1 year. I graduated in 2003. So
uh-huh,
I went to college for 1 year in Plano. I didn't do too good there. So then I went to so my father recommended that I go to Job Corps. And so once I got to Job Corps, my father said, once you take up electrician.
right.
So once I completed Job Corps, I was there for like 1 year. And after I got out of Job Corps, I came back to Dallas, and that's when I got in the actual 4 year electrical apprenticeship. Where I would work 40 hours a week, and I would go to school one night a week. To learn how to be an electrician. So it's kind of similar. Our kind of storyline, around the same age, is kind of similar. So man, so basically, where you are right now, if you would have stayed at the animal shelter, you would be making a lot less. I'm pretty sure, right?
Absolutely, yep.
So basically, you got a career right now that. So let me ask you this. So within you doing your service training, was there any like school debt? Did you have like school debt?
I did,
Or
yes.
I mean, but I mean, okay. So if you don't mind, can I ask like the difference between the actual college debt and your training that you got? Was there a big price difference, or was it close to the same?
What you mean as far as like
So how was your training to do what you're doing now? How was that paid for? Did you have to pay for that out of your pocket, or did they take that out of your check, or was it just or was it just included in your training? It was free basically.
yeah, yeah, no, it was included in the job training. Like it's the actual on job training for it.
Mm,
Like I was still
okay, yeah.
you still working out in the field every day, getting your on field training.
Okay,
But
yeah, yeah.
when it's time for you to go up a skill level, you go into a class. It's just like a 1 day, 1 week thing in class. It's not like
Yeah,
something you do before you start working. You still working out in the field, getting that experience. It's
yeah.
just what I'm saying.
The reason why I asked, because see, like when the school I went to, so they took so when I first like my first year, they were taking like $10 every paycheck, you know. So that's why I asked. But that's to cover the school portion when I was going to school for one night a week. They would take like $10 every week, I mean 10
Right.
bucks every paycheck. So you were able to go to school. First off, you were able to get a career and not have to pay no upfront costs and not have any debt when you to get to where you are right now. You didn't have to have no student loans. You didn't have to have none of that stuff like that. So basically,
No,
you debt free without. So basically, to get to your career where you at, you pretty much debt free
yes, sir. Basically, yeah.
without having. That's almost unheard of.
Right. I know.
The reason why I say that, because if you want to go be a dentist, if you want to go be a doctor, if you want to go be a lawyer, you're gonna be in like almost $300,000 worth of debt once you get out of school. And you think you're
Yeah.
making a lot of money, but you got to pay all that money back. Versus someone that's like you or me, we have very little debt. So in the long run, or even just starting out, we're gonna be making more money,
Right.
because by the time the doctor or the lawyer has to pay their money back, they're only gonna be left with a certain amount of money at the end of the month. But versus someone like you or me, there is very little debt going into the trade, that's a
Yeah,
win-win. That's a no-brainer.
yeah, it's crazy how that works, right?
So, man, I love I love hearing your story. That's because see, there's like a see, here's the thing, like I said on another show. So I'm gonna say this and we're gonna move to the next question. So I want to ask you this. When your family or when your parents found out that this is what you were going to go and do, was there any negative comments? Or when I say negative comments, meaning like, are you sure you want to do that? You sure you don't want to try and go to college first? You sure you don't want to try to do something that's a little bit cleaner or something that's a little bit safer? Did you get that, or was everybody just pretty positive about you doing it?
Not at all. No negative comments at all. They were all for it. And I actually went to college for about a semester in 2017. Um, but I didn't finish to go, and I didn't. That's when I went to work at the shelter.
Mm,
But yeah, no, they had no negative comments at all. They was all for it. They didn't know much about this business anyway.
okay.
So
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. The only reason why I asked that is because just say like in the average household, the trades aren't at the top of the list like college is. Like if you talking to your auntie and you say, and I go tell my auntie, I'm gonna be an electrician. We'll just say I graduated high school and I say, auntie, I'm gonna go be an electrician. Or my auntie may come to me and ask me, hey, what you gonna do when you get out of high school? Well, I'm gonna go to electrician school. I,
yeah.
you know, it's most of them like my aunts, well, not mine, but I would say most aunts or uncles, are you sure that's what you want to do? Are that's kind of dangerous. You sure you don't want to go to college and get a college degree, or does that make sense what I'm trying to say? So that's the reason why I asked that. So that's beautiful that everybody was supportive, because everybody doesn't have that type of support.
Exactly right. Yeah.
So what were some of the things you wish you knew before you getting started into trying to doing the work that you're doing? Were there any things that you wish you knew before getting started?
Um.
Meaning Meaning like what I wish I knew about the weather. I was gonna be working in the cold, hot. I wish I knew how to work with tools better. Anything just like that.
Uh. That's actually that's actually right. I really do, because I had never worked with tools. Nothing had nothing to do with outside work. Nothing to do with electrical work. And so I just wish I knew, like, really really everything I learned from this job. It helped me out a lot in my regular life, because you know because
Wow.
I didn't I can't put a, one specific thing on it. It just
Yeah,
helped me
yeah.
out with this job specifically. So
So that's beautiful. So you sound just like me. so getting so so getting into this trade and actually doing the wrenching, doing the turning the tools, they helped you out in your regular life. So do you
right.
mean just like now you're able to fix things around the house, or now you're able to change a spare tire on your car? Is that what you mean? Or you just, or do you mean like it helped you out with your confidence? What do you mean as far as, can you just give it like a,
Yeah, I'm talking about, like, yeah, like doing fixing stuff around the house, using using tools that I never used before around the house that I use on the job. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
wow. So when you were growing up, you didn't really work like manual or working with your hands or anything like that.
Not really. No.
Mm. So now when you get into the real world, you see that you have to use tools to keep this stuff going.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty much everything. If you just think about it, pretty much everything that we do in life, it involves some type of tool. You
Right.
know, especially anything dealing with keeping the infrastructure going. Bulldozing. Farming. Everything is using some type of tool. To sustain life. So yeah, that's beautiful. Um, that it's helped you in that way because I, I see this all the time to where a lot of grown men, they don't know how to use tools.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I mean, when you see them for the simple fact, when you see them hold a screwdriver, they're holding it the improper way. And I'm looking like, you not never use a screwdriver, you know. But anyway, not just but what I'm trying to get at is that it's important, like it's important to be able to know how to use tools because as you grow older in life and if as you eventually get a family, you know, there's certain things around the house. Your wife is on, hey, can you put this uh doorknob on, or can you fix the kitchen the cabinet handle, you know?
Yeah.
So you know, so yeah, that's beautiful. Um
And it definitely taught me like to use my strength, like you, because with this line of work, you definitely gonna need your strength, like to, because I feel like I'm working out 5 days out the week at work, because you got to use your strength when you're dealing with like opening up transformers and stuff. Sometimes the bolt gets stuck and you got to pull it. You know, you got to use your muscle. I learned that when I was just coming up in this business. So that's one thing I had to get it going.
so before we keep going, we're about almost 25 minutes into the video. So I'm gonna play a video that I did maybe back in when I first met Marion, and it's gonna be showing you something that he does. Would you say on a daily basis, Marion? Or I would say sometimes. So I'm gonna drop it in the I'm just drop the video in the stream.
Okay.
So this is Marion right here. He came out to do a job. I mean, I'm sorry, I was doing a job to where I had to replace that meter box right there. But in order for me to replace the meter box, he had to come out and disconnect the power. So Marion, can you tell us what you're doing right here?
Yeah. So I'm disconnecting the power, and you got to do it when it's a hot service. You got to do it one leg at a time. So you cut each wire one leg at a time, especially the hot legs, and you tape them up, and that's how you cut the service.
So now, so Marion, so now this is a lot. This is live. This is hot. It's not
Yeah.
off. This is
Yeah.
live coming from the pole, right? Okay. So the video just transitioned. So now he's about to go into the reconnect phase. This is after I had put the new meter base up. So I'm gonna keep playing the video clip right here. Hey, look, for anybody who's on the live stream, if y'all have any questions for Marion, he does this on a daily basis. He's not he hasn't even approached his 30s and he's already doing this type of work debt free. Yeah, I mean, what more else can I say? So if y'all have any questions for Marion, drop them down in the comment section. We have some people that's on the live stream right now. Please hit that like button. Thank y'all for coming on Trades Don't Judge Your podcast. This is a judgment free podcast for everybody who has a story to tell. So let's keep going with the video. So can you tell what you're doing right here, Marion? This is at the point where I've already taken the old one down and you come back and put the new one up. I'm sorry, I already put the new one up and you coming back out to reconnect.
Yeah. So in the reconnect process, the new service that they put up, the electrician put up, you really just go back and do everything you did when you were disconnecting it. So you're gonna reconnect each hot leg one by one, and then the neutral leg, and you crimp it back together. So, and that's gonna restore the power to the house. And yeah.
And I think right here, kind of towards the end of the video, I think you actually put the meter. It shows you putting the meter back in also too.
Yes, and after all that's done, you are gonna check voltage, and if it's good.
So what level? So on this, like what you're doing right here, what level would that be at? would that be classified as A or B? I think you said, or what level would this be at right here? What level of training would this be at?
This is gonna be serviceman one through. This is gonna be one serviceman one, two, and three. So anybody who's serviceman one, two, and three can do this.
Oh, okay. Wow. So anybody that's serviceman 1, 2, or 3 will have the ability to be able to do this right here.
Yes.
Okay. Is this something difficult to learn how to do? Is it a difficult process, or is it really just about repetition, just doing it over and over and over?
That's really what it's all about. Repetition, just getting the feel for how everything is done and doing it correctly, doing it safely, you know.
And what about the fear? What about the fear of, oh, this is electricity, it's a lot of voltage? What about that? Is that something to be worried about, or it's not really too much to be worried about?
Real honestly, if you all you have to do is wear your PPE. You know, I I always have it in the back of my mind that you know you should never. My step pop says that you should never. Once you feel like you're comfortable with this job, it ain't the right job for you. And I might be
Really?
messing up, the quote, but as comfortable as far as like you don't have like
Yeah.
you like I
When
don't
you get
have no
complacent.
worries. Like
Yeah.
you're not worried about the voltage. I can just do it everything and take shortcuts and stuff. Once you get comfortable like that, you should never be comfortable like that. Basically,
Yeah.
you should always be cautious of what you're working in and what you're working on, the voltage level, and basically if you just have your PPE on, everything you shouldn't have no worries. Basically,
Man. So look, listen, for everybody who's on a live stream right now, Marion went from a 19-year-old young man to being able to disconnect and reconnect power. And you say sometimes you actually have to go on the pole and do work on the pole, right?
yeah.
Mm. And so I'm assuming that's does that fall in between the service? I mean, does that fall between that 1, 2, 3 category, 1, 2, 3
Yeah,
training category?
it does, and that falls along with the climbing portion because you're gonna have to put on your utility belt, your
Wow.
your climbing gaffs, and you're gonna have to climb the pole, step by step,
Mm-hmm.
and connect the service. So that's aligned with that.
So you got to climb. So wait, so back up. So you say you have to physically climb the pole, and then you have to reconnect it while you land on while you just kind of just land suspended in the air, and you still got to reconnect it like that.
Yes, and that's another class in itself, a whole climbing class you have to go through to learn how to do that. So
Wow, man! My hats off to you, man. Man, I'm proud of you for hanging in there and doing it, man. You're gonna be a real inspiration to other young men, man. It's beautiful that you hung in there, and to see what you're doing right now. And I can see you doing a lot more in the future, man. You got a very good character, very good spirit, man. Of even though you didn't have any experience in using tools or doing manual labor, but you stuck in there. A lot of, if you just think, if you can account, maybe if it was maybe 20 of your good friends out of high school, and y'all all went through the same training, how many of them would be doing this right now? Well, a lot of them have quit, or you think all 20 of them would have been there?
I think I that's really hard to say because
Mhm.
it, I can't speak on
Yeah,
somebody's willing to work or what they're willing to do or go through because
mhm.
somebody might see this stuff and say, "Oh, that's electricity. I ain't trying to get shocked. I ain't going into that field."
Most
You know,
definitely.
so I just think you know if you really want to go far in this line of work, just have just have the focus and dedication and just keep doing what you're supposed to do, like wearing your PPE, all that, stuff. Like if you doing what you're supposed to do, then you can go far in this line of work specifically.
Okay, so before we go too much further, I'm just gonna go to a few of the comments here, Marion, if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
So Dante says, "Go ahead." I mean, E-team in here. Nice. Go ahead, Marion.
Yes, sir.
And Dante, he has a question right here. He says, "Is it difficult to transition from being an electrician and becoming a service lineman? I have 5 years experience as an apprentice electrician. I'm interested in the service lineman field." Can you see, or you want to repeat the question?
I can see it. I can see it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's difficult at all because you're gonna get the training right when you come in. So, um, and it's actually a good thing if you coming from being an electrician apprentice to the service lineman, because I mean you already know how you should already know half the stuff. You know what I'm saying? So when you
Wow.
going to this, then it's gonna be like second nature. You're gonna already know most of the stuff, so it's gonna line up. Everything's gonna line up together for sure.
Okay. So uh now, does he have to have any uh like certifications, or can he just call the number, or what does he need to do to what does he need to do basically to get in touch with whoever he needs to get in touch with? Does he just need to go to the website, or what does he need to do to to get the interview process going?
Yeah, I would say just go to the website standardutility.com and go and fill out the application and really that's it, and get your interview going and you're in the door basically.
So okay, so for those who want to know, I'm gonna it says called Standard Utility Company.
Standardutility.com, yes.
So I'm gonna drop the website down below for those who want to learn more on how to get into doing this type of work. Now, this is just for Texas, so I'm not sure if this company is nationwide. So I know this is just for Texas right here. So you may have to find a different utility provider wherever you are, but this is just for Texas. Standard Utility is in Texas, so um,
Yeah.
that's really only going to work for Texas. So okay. Um, oh man, that was great. That was great. That was a great question, Dante. Maybe kind of towards the end of the live stream, I'm probably going to end it a little short just to see if anybody wants to come on live and ask any questions. So I'm going to keep on going with the live stream. Thank you everybody for coming on to Trades Don't Judge Your podcast, the judgment free trades podcast, because everybody has a story to tell. Everybody has something to share. So let's keep rolling. Now I think you kind of covered this, but I'm gonna ask the question anyway.
Hmm.
Can you see that, or is it covered up?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Okay, because on my side it looked like it's kind of covered up. Okay, so yeah, so hardest thing to overcome becoming a utility serviceman.
Hardest thing to overcome, I would say just getting over that fear, getting over the especially if you never worked in this business, just getting over the fear of just electricity in general. Um, like when I started, before I started, my stepdad told me like in the orientation process, you're gonna see some stuff that kind of that gonna deter you away from joining. You're gonna see some stuff that's probably gonna scare you, but I'd say for me, it's been smooth so far. Like I haven't had anything that I haven't had a crazy incident. I haven't gotten hurt or shocked. And you know, you can make good money here. You can work a long time here, and you know, like I said earlier, like as long as you wearing your PPE and doing everything you're supposed to do, it should work. Everything should work out. I think so.
Okay. So I'm not sure where everybody came in on the show, but I just kind of want to bring everybody up to speed for a quick, maybe 30 seconds. So Marion, he started out doing service utility work when he was 19 years old. And how old are you now, Marion?
I'm 24.
24. Marion is 24. He didn't have to come out of any money to to learn how to do this. So he's debt free. What's the starting, if you don't mind, what's the starting pay for someone who's going to be coming into this?
So the starting pay is gonna be 15.
Okay, $15.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then
and
as you go up skill levels, you get a raise, a $2 raise every time you go up a skill level. So
now, if someone is coming in with experience, do they still start at 15, or it just depends on experience?
I'm not sure, but
Okay,
I think they do still start at 15 though.
okay. All right. So you say the hardest thing, which is overcoming, you say the fear.
Yes.
Okay. So what most do you like about being a utility service provider?
Um, I like the freedom. I like, being in the truck. You know what I'm saying? All you have to
Mm,
do is worry about, because you go address to address, and being in the truck all day. Driving is like almost 80% of what you're gonna be doing all
mm.
day. So
Mhm.
you just gotta being in the truck. You know what I'm saying? All you got is you. You're not in front of your boss all day. You know what I'm saying?
You say you're not in front of your boss.
Yeah. So just the freedom aspect of it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Hey guys, we got more people coming into the live stream. Please hit that like button. It really helps the channel out. Thank everybody for coming on to Trades Don't Judge Your podcast. If anybody have any more questions for Marion, just drop them down in the comment section. So would you recommend this type of work to someone else, or have you ever recommended it to somebody else?
I definitely would. I definitely would recommend this to somebody else. When I'm out working, I get people all the time coming up to me while I'm working, asking like, "Hey, what do you do? Like, how can I get?"
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I get that question all the time. They just walk right up to me as I'm working, and I definitely would. It's a good environment, good workspace to work in. You can go far with this. You can move up to this. My step pops, he been in this business for I think 15 years. He's now a foreman now, so
Mm.
you know. But yeah, you can definitely go far with this. I definitely would recommend this to many young men out there that's trying to look for something stable, trying to look for a trade to get into, and trying to,
So, how, what's that like? Do you ever get a chance to work with your step pop?
I did. I actually did work with him for quite some time. We rode on the same truck together for about a month, or a couple months,
Mm.
like 2 months like that.
Okay. So I'm glad you bring up the foreman aspect because I didn't know that there was a foreman that's involved in the type of work that you do. So I'm assuming the foremen are just on bigger jobs, or do you have foremen that are on smaller jobs, or like what are the actual roles? So I know you say you're a service provider. So what are the actual roles that the other roles other than service provider? And can you kind of go up to where can you kind of go up the ladder where it starts at, if you know, like from service provider to something else and then foreman? Do you all have it like that, or does that make sense what I'm trying to ask you?
Yeah. Um,
The different positions or different titles.
yeah. We really, well, in this department, we only have like there's not many like there's not really a ladder of command. Like you have the employees out in the field, the servicemen and skill A and skill B, and then you have the foreman right over us. So Each
Oh,
department
okay.
is gonna have its own foreman. There's 3 foremans that we work above us, and then you have uh, Kerry Raybon, who's the supervisor over that foreman. I guess the managing
Okay.
foreman, I want to say.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, um, so yeah, there's not many positions, and then you have the corporate, the
Mm, okay.
over every,
People that's in the office.
right, right. Yeah.
So what's the most that you've heard that someone has made as being a service provider? What's the most of not that you've made, but what's the most that you've heard that people can make? As they become like 10, 15 years in, what's the most that you heard that someone can make? Is it over 100,000? Is it close to 200,000 or
Oh, I don't know about the yearly rates, but I know we top out at like 28 or 29 an hour for sure.
wow? How many years does it take to get to that amount? Because I know for an electrician, so like for me in my trade, so you have an apprentice electrician, then you have a journeyman electrician, and then you have a master electrician. So for someone to get to roughly like $30 an hour, um, if you're not like on a government type job, it's probably going to take you maybe like 6 or 7 years because uh, really the journeymen make the larger dollars on the job site. They're if you have a license. So like I said, you can get a license, you can get the journeyman license roughly around your fifth year in the trade, you know, and so really you can kind of transition to from about 21 $22 an hour as an apprentice, and then once you get your journeyman license, you can go from 21 22 to pretty close to $30 an hour. So is it kind of similar to that, or is it
Yeah,
uh
it's gonna be around about 6 to 7 years, like you said. It's gonna be like that too, but it's gonna be that long until you making that much.
okay? And
So
then how does overtime work? How does that work? Is it just like is it or yeah, how does your overtime work? Does it work to where you just get regular overtime, or you just can work as much overtime as you want, or you only get overtime when it's like a emergency outage?
nah, overtime is regular. Like we get that probably day in and day out,
Wow.
because we come in at 7:30. We start our day at 7:30 in the morning,
Mhm.
and it depends on how much work you have for that day. We have to finish all our work before we go home. So if that takes you uh, till 8, 9 p.m., then so be it, and that's your overtime right there. So,
Really? Wow.
and then we also go on storm. So when there's a big storm out, we have to go out and handle that. So that's your extra time right there.
Re-
And
wow.
so
So so I'm glad you mentioned that part as far as with the storm. Can you just talk about that? How's that like? Is that like a do you travel for a storm, or is it just storm like locally in Dallas?
sometimes we do have to travel for a storm. Sometimes we'll go to Waco, and it depends on where the storm is. Um, but storm, we really just so we work with Encore on it, and we're just sometimes we might not even get any work, but you're on standby basically
So you still
until
getting paid on standby?
yes, yes.
Wow.
So you're on standby until you actually until they call us out, and we'll have to go work those storm orders, and it'll be just like the stuff that we're working on in this video, reconnecting and disconnecting services. So, but yeah, storm we get storm like pretty often. Like every time there's a storm out, if it's bad and it's cutting off people's lights, then we most likely gonna be on storm for that week.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do here real quick, I'm going to drop a uh a link down in the comment section for if anybody want to come on to the live stream tonight uh ask Marion any questions, or if you want to ask me any questions, or if you just want to say, hey, how y'all doing? Thanks for the live stream. It was really great. That'd be awesome. So I'm gonna drop the live stream link down below. If anybody want to come on to Trades on Judge podcast tonight, that'd be awesome. So you just click the link and I'll let you in on the video. Okay, so I'm gonna go through a few more of the comments. You okay, Amir?
Yes,
okay.
sir.
So let's see. Jet Sue says, hey, what's up? What's up, Jet? Jet asks, do you guys have to work in the rain?
Yes, we do have to work in the rain. But it's not that bad though. As long as you, it's not gonna hurt you to work in the rain. You just gotta get all your, so we have these rubber blankets that we pull out, and we have to use those to cover up the energized, the bus bars. Like if you're working in a transformer and it's raining, you definitely have to pull out your rubber blankets. It's like a big blanket, and we cover it up as we use to cover up the primary side, because that's the most dangerous part. And then we have the bus bar covers that covers up the secondary side. So just use your PPE, I would say, in the rain. But yes, we do have to work in the rain.
Okay. Do you have like a umbrella that you use, or not? Like, so does that make sense?
Nah, we have rain coats,
Okay.
rain pants.
Is it any more dangerous connecting in the wet weather, or it's still like the same?
I say it's still the same. I don't think the level of danger gets any higher.
Okay, cool. Okay, so let's see. So Dante asks Marion, "Are you a journeyman?" So I'm assuming he's asking if you have if there's like a journeyman utility license, or is it or do you? I know you're not an electrician, so I know you don't have a. I'm not exactly sure how he's asking the question. So
Yeah. I'm not a journeyman. I'm just a contractor for Encore.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So guys, so for the video that's playing in the back, this video was from roughly like last year, April, with Marion. I had to do a job where I had to replace the electrical meter base on a house. And so before I can replace it, I had to call my service provider so they can come and disconnect the power. Because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to replace the meter base. And give me 1 second, Dante. He's gonna come on the live stream. Give me 1 second, Dante. I'm gonna let you in. So so Marion here in this video, he's doing a disconnect and he's doing a reconnect. So I think on this portion, I think he's actually doing a reconnect on it. So for those who came in late, I'm just kind of filling y'all in on the video. So I'm gonna add Dante to the chat.
Can you hear me?
Hey Dante, yeah. How you doing, Dante?
Hey, I'm good. How are you, Steve? How you doing, Marion?
Doing good. Can you hear Marion?
I cannot.
Can you see if you can ask your question, Dante? See if I can hear you.
Okay, Marion. Yeah, I don't know if the question got answered, but I was just asking about your status.
No, I can't hear him.
Okay, hold on. Let me try and remove the video. Oh, maybe this. Dante, unmute your microphone. It says you're muted. Try it again, Marion. I'm sorry. Try it again, Dante.
I'm here, Marion.
Still can't hear Marion?
I can't.
Oh man. Okay, so let me try and remove the video real quick. Okay, now try it. Go ahead with your question, Dante. See if that works now.
Marion.
Still can't hear him? Okay, so oh man, that sucks. So what's your question, Dante? I'm sorry.
I don't know if it got answered, but it was basically is he a status? Is he a journeyman, or is he still considered an apprentice?
Okay, so he's asking you, Marion, if you are considered a journeyman or if you consider a apprentice. But I don't think. Can you just elaborate again on how you were saying it's different from having an actual electrician license like what I have, and versus what you do as a utility provider?
Yeah, for this is not a journeyman certificate working job. This is gonna be more so like I didn't. This doesn't require none of that. This is just something you just sign on to do, and I got hired on, and basically that's it. Like I didn't need a certificate. I didn't need a license. This is just a hire and get to work.
Did you hear him, Dante?
Oh, yes, sir. I did.
Okay, I'm not
I
sure
can
why. What'd you say, Marion?
I can hear Dante now.
Okay. Did you have any other questions, Dante, or did he answer the question for you?
Yes, sir. And how long was your training?
It depends on what. So really, it's gonna take a week. So when you first start, they're gonna train you for the stuff that you're gonna start doing when you start working. So that's gonna last like a week. So you're gonna go into a class for a week, then you're gonna go out and start working. So and they're gonna show you everything you need to know to get you started. So that's how it's gonna last.
Got you. And so as far as your trucks, you don't need any other special licensing for the truck you drive?
No, you don't need nothing else. They're gonna provide the trucks. They're gonna provide pretty much everything. So
And the work you do, is this just for like residential, or do you all do everything?
pretty much everything, residential, commercial. So yeah.
Yes, sir.
What about clothes? They provide you your like your like I don't know if y'all have to wear the shirts that are like arc fault, those type of flame resistant type. I'm not sure.
We do. We do wear FR clothing and and some steel toe work boots. They provide all of that as well.
Wow, they provide work boots too?
Yeah, well, they yeah, I would say yeah. They provide the boots too.
That's a win-win. Yeah, well, they provide pretty much everything. Okay. Dante had a question. He asked about what's the farthest you had to travel.
The farthest I had to travel, we do have to go to West Texas. We have a West Texas rotation, so we go there a week. So we go there for a week for like every time it's your turn. So we go around the whole department. Everybody gets a week to go, and we go down to Odessa and Midland, and we do the same thing we do over there. So probably about a week every 2 months, I would say, we have to go to West Texas.
Now, now as far as with Encore, is there pretty much the same, or do you have more responsibilities with there versus Encore? Is the pay different, or training different?
Well, there is I think I'm not sure what they do on their side, but we do the same stuff, but we do like different stuff in a way. I don't know how to explain the differences between standard and Encore, but yeah, I can tell you we do the dirty work basically, and they have it easy over there.
The dirty work.
So they stay driving around looking clean while you all do the dirty work. Gotcha.
So to speak. Yep.
And look, Dante, I don't know when you got on the message. I mean, on the stream, but he said he started doing this at 19 and he's 24 now. And so he driving around in his own truck doing his own work.
Wow. And so you said you start at 7:30 in the morning. Is that standard? It's the 7:30 and until you're done.
Seven
What's
thirty.
the latest that you finished up on a job, or the longest you've worked?
Oh man, I worked from 7:30 in the morning to maybe 2 a.m.
Wow.
It gets like that sometimes, but yeah,
So
it's
does
just
your
the workload.
overtime start after 40 hours or after working 8 hours? Like, how does that work?
It starts after 8 hours. So if you finish with all your work and it's 5 o'clock, you're allowed to go home. At 5 o'clock is when we're allowed to to finish our day. But if we still have work to do, then we can go over that time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so you pretty much just work all day by yourself. Is that correct?
I do. Some people do have helpers on their truck, but right now, I do work by myself.
What you think? What you think about that, Dante? That's pretty cool, or what?
Yeah, it's definitely cool.
So
Yeah.
Dante, can I ask you one question?
Yes, sir.
How different does that sound from the work you're doing right now to what he's doing?
Oh,
Is this
it's a lot different. Other than we use from time to time have to use a bucket to get up to do work on commercial buildings and things like that. But yeah, it's definitely different. It's definitely different, and it's a serious job because it's not, they're not building, a building or anything like that. They're the ones that bring the power to the building, and then they're the ones that come pretty much like to help put out, help emergency situations. So I think it's just as, and just as not more important because they hire people, electricians all the time, and they can tell them what to do, but a lot of people can't handle that type of responsibility. So are you on call all the time, or do y'all have that part component, being on call or anything?
Yeah, so we go on call once a month. So it's gonna be for a week basically every month. So, and that's our on call period.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely important, especially with power going out and things like that. Have you ever had any issues with like anybody coming out angry or mad about the power and have to diffuse a situation or anything?
Um, no, I haven't personally, but I have. There is guys that's had some issues with customers, and there's always something with customers and the power getting turned off, and but that's only as far as like because they say we're always late or something. Like the customer, like they have a scheduled time that they want their power to be cut back on, and sometimes we don't meet those demands, uh, but we really don't disconnect for non-pay or nothing like that that too often. So
Yes, sir. I guess I'm just curious with if people are coming in with experience, that do they start at the basic pay that pretty much everybody starts with?
yeah, I'm not really sure on the if you come in with experience part, but yeah, that's not a question for me because I'm not really sure about that one.
so there'd be somebody? So there'd be a question for whoever's going to do the interviewing process.
Right.
Cool.
Do you hear about a lot of people that's been like electrician, like kind of like what I do, and came over to doing what you do, Marion? Do you see that a lot, or not really?
I do. There's a guy that works for us now. He used to be an electrician, doing the stuff that you do. So, and he's been here for like over 10 years, 12 years. So there's people that come over from being in your field.
Yeah.
And your job is not considered union or anything, correct?
No, it's not.
Use or not like. Huh? Okay. So I'm gonna go through a few more of the comments here. John C says service lineman will be a great referral for electrical business. Jet says so you don't need 5-star. Oh, I can't read tonight. So Jet says you don't need 5-year training for this job.
Absolutely not. You just, the training is gonna go by quickly. All you need is a week of, at least for the first part of when you're first starting out. It's gonna take. You're gonna go to class for a week, and you're gonna go out in the field, and then as you go up skill levels, you'll take other classes, and you're gonna learn as you go. So you're never gonna just be thrown out there. You're gonna learn as you go, and you train before every time you go up a skill level. So.
Okay. So we already at we just went over an hour. I want to be respectful of Marion's time. So we are already at an hour. I don't see any more I'm sorry, I don't see any more questions down in the comment section. So if anybody have any more questions, we're gonna be wrapping it up here shortly. So if anybody don't have any more questions for Marion, put them down in the comment section. Or if anybody want to come on a live stream for shortly, I'm gonna put it down in the comment section, the StreamYard link. If anybody has any questions, y'all can put it down in the StreamYard link. I'm sorry, I keep saying StreamYard link. I'm gonna put it down in the comment section. Anybody else want to come on live, ask Marion any questions, or if you don't want to, just put them in the comment section, because we're gonna be ending it here shortly. You got any more questions, Dante?
No. Just
feel free to ask while you got them on the line.
Yeah. No, I just you answered a lot of questions. So if I get this straight, the work he's doing right now, all of that is hot. Is that correct?
For the most part, yes. We mostly work on stuff like in the newer subdivisions, like the
gotcha.
new houses that's just being built. But yes, we do. For the most part, we do work in hot, energized sections.
Yes, sir.
So this, what you're doing right here, the wires are still live as you're doing it, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So since you've been in the trade, have you had to train anyone yet?
Yeah, I had to train a couple people.
That's tight. So let me see. Jet says so it's like UPS, is it dangerous? I think he's already covered that, but if you want to cover that again, he's asking, is it dangerous?
He says, "Is it like UPS? Is it dangerous?" It is dangerous if you if you're being careless. Like you have to be focused, pay attention to what you're doing, and but it's not that bad though. It's not nothing that can't be managed. As long as you're wearing your PPE and working safe, it's gonna be smooth.
Just like with anything.
Right.
All right. Well, so I don't see any more questions. So we're gonna get ready to end it. You got any more questions, Dante, while you're on?
No. Just got a lot of information. Didn't know about the licensing aspect and whatnot, because you go to TDLR and you'll see apprentice, lineman license or something like that. So that's interesting to know that. Um, Somebody just posted something.
Yeah, it says Dante. You said you should check out Bob's Decline. He's a lineman in Canada, but you can see a lot of work a lineman gets to do. I guess it's another YouTube channel, Bob's Decline.
Thank you, Brian.
What were you saying, Dante? Before I
No, that was just interesting to know that. So, and just knowing that how they pretty much train you for everything you need. So, no, I'm just glad to talk to someone. I had spoke to someone that told me that you have to have like a CDL license or something because of the type of trucks some have to use, where they have the same components that a truck will have. So that was interesting to know that you don't have to carry that unless it was, I forget the name of the company that was out there doing service lineman work, but maybe they were doing something different than what you may have to do.
Yeah, maybe different companies have different policies, but yeah, for this one, for us, you don't need a CDL license or nothing.
Gotcha. And do you work 6, 7? How many days a week do you work, or what's common for you?
We work 5, so Monday through Friday, and obviously we go on call once a week, a month. I mean, for 1 week a month. So you just gotta go on call outs. You might get called out on a Saturday and Sunday, but yeah, we work Monday through Friday.
Cool.
So when you go on call, is it often that you got to go out when you go on call?
Depends on the week. If it's a week that it's a week that you got a storm or something that just happened, then we might get called out. Like I've gotten called out like every day. Like I've gotten called out like 4 times on a Saturday. I've gotten called out like 4 times. I went out, I went back home. I got called out an hour later. Had to go back out. So when it's busy, it's busy. But it's pretty chill for the most part. It's nothing crazy.
Yeah.
So what's one of the hardest aspects of like a typical thing that can be something that's problematic whenever you out there in the field? Like, is it something specific that comes about that when it's coming, it's going to be a long day for you?
Nothing really. It's just you just gotta focus on on the task at hand, like, and just make sure you're doing everything you're supposed to. It's really nothing you gotta look out for. I'll say just wear your PPE. They're always gonna stress the PPE. They always want you to be safe because they want you to go home and tell your family how your day was, and not have to tell your family that you won't be coming home, right?
Right.
So that's really the most important part.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's kind of like just kind of like what I do. You just have to you just like what Marion saying earlier, as far as like you can't get complacent. You were saying about your step-out was saying about when you're comfortable or when you're not scared of this anymore, then it's time to do something else. This is what you were saying earlier, right, Marion?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so we got a few more comments, and then we're gonna let's see. He said, so do you need a high school diploma or GED?
Yes, you do need a high school diploma or GED.
So Josh says an average electrician gets paid 25 and up in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm not sure if that's I'm not sure if Josh is saying if that's with the license or without a license. I'm not sure. 35 tops. They get paid all right, but right here on USA, it's where it's at. Okay. You got anything else, Dante?
No, not at all. I think, yeah, provided some great insight into his work, line of work.
So this is something. So how long what's the process as far as like retirement? They say if you do 20 years, you get this amount, or if you do 30 years, you get this amount. Do you all have that, Marion?
I know we do. I'm not sure about the specifics on that one.
Okay. Okay. Well, if nobody else has any other questions, I got one last question for you, Marion. Let's see. Do you have any accomplishments you're proud of recently that no one else knows about that you would like to share?
Listen, I'm just taking it day by day. You know what I'm saying? I'm still a young man. I still got some accomplishments to get to and to fulfill, and nothing specifically, but they definitely coming. Like I'm taking it day by day. I love what I do, and I'm still just figuring life out, and I'm doing it with Standard Utility, contractor for Encore.
So would you are you is one of your goals to work up to be a foreman?
I'm open to it. Definitely. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Marion, I think you're off to a great start. I mean, for you to be doing what you're doing at the age that you're doing, you said 20, you're 24, right?
24. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, by the time you're 30, the world is going to be open to whatever you want to do. I mean,
Exactly.
even right now, I'm pretty sure you can probably take your experience and go pretty much work for any service provider, right? I'm just assuming.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I mean, and even in some other states, right?
Yeah, absolutely. My step pops tell me all the time that I need to, apply for something better, something at Encore, a meter tech or something, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So
really? Oh, so you can, wow, man, you done made me ask another question, man. So you can make it, so you can go from doing what you're doing. So, wow, can you just touch on that just briefly? As far as like when your step pop was saying you can make a transition from doing what you're doing right now and to going over to Encore and doing something, doing something else. So you can actually do that.
yeah, absolutely. That's plenty of guys that's been working here that went to Encore. We lose a guy about every month to Encore, basically. So, but yeah, you definitely can cross over. It's gonna be more. I mean, and since you've been working here for so long, when you get ready to go to Encore, you're gonna have the experience. You're gonna have the time under your belt. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, definitely, I would recommend getting your foot in the door here and then going on to bigger and better things. Standard is like high school, and then Encore itself, that's when you go on to college. That's the analogy I would make for that. So
Wow, I didn't even know that. He just shedded a whole nother. You just put some more light on this subject. I didn't know that you can make a transition like that. You know,
yeah,
I just thought, yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know. I'm glad you came on the. The other time, did you have another question? Did that bring up another question for you or no?
No, it just made me realize, Encore's cleaner. No, I'm just joking. No, it's standard is boot camp.
yeah, something like that. They actually encourage that. Like they want guys that come from Standard to go over there and do bigger and better things. So
Okay.
That's great. It's real great.
Well, guys, look, we had 1 hour and 15 minutes. So I want to thank Marion. Man, thank you for coming on to the show tonight. It's been a pleasure. Coming on, sharing your story, sharing your journey on Trades Don't Judge You podcast. Has anyone ever brung you on to a podcast, or just done what we done tonight on how did you get into it and your journey?
nah, first time. I actually was looking forward to this. I listen to podcasts all the time. You turned me on to your YouTube channel. I've been watching a couple videos from there. I like what you're doing, man. I like seeing stuff like this, helping out the people in the work field, in this line of work. Yeah, so I like what you're doing. I commend you. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for having me on. And yeah,
Oh yeah, my pleasure.
it's been a journey.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, man. Thank you for coming on. And like I said before, thank you for just staying in there, hanging in there, man. When the going gets tough, you gotta hang in there. You exemplify that from just coming from not having any tools experience. So for you all that's out there that's listening right now, and for the future people that's gonna watch this video, Marion started as a 19-year-old, didn't have any tools experience, to where now he's your savior when your power goes out. He's going to come out. He has the experience now to know how to make them tools work and get your stuff back on. So it's just a testament to how far you've came, as a young man. As a young man, how you were saying you didn't even Scott, I'm sorry, even to this day, you said that you didn't have any experience. I'm sorry, not any experience, but you said doing what you do now has helped you in your everyday life. So this trade or what you've done hasn't just benefited you putting money in your pocket, but it's made you even more well-rounded as a young man growing into a full-grown man, even though you're a full-grown man now. But once you get a family and children, you just seem like what you're saying is going to make you, it's making you a better man.
Absolutely. Yep.
All right, guys. Please hit that like button before we go. It really helps the channel out. Thank you, Dante. Before we go, did you have any more questions, Dante, or do you want to say anything before you go?
No. Just thank you. And if I could ask one question, your father, your pops, step pops, had been working in the field for a while. My only question is, because I've met guys that's working in the trade now that said they could never get through the door. So I guess my question is, since you said you didn't have any experience, was your stepfather part of the process to help you get through the door, or because I know some people are not as reluctant to bring people in that may not have any experience. So was that just pure you applying and they hired you, or did they help out having your stepfather in the door already?
No, he definitely helped me. He definitely played a part in me getting hired here. I don't think it was because I didn't have any experience, but I think they trusted him bringing me in. So I'm a product of him. So I think they, were didn't have any reluctance or didn't have any doubt that I could come in, and because he's the top of his class when it comes to this. Like, I think he'll be a good guest to come on this podcast. And but yeah, he's a foreman now, and yeah, he played a big role in me getting hired on. So I thank him for that. So
Yes, sir. Thank you, Step Pops.
Hey, well, Marion, if you don't mind, can you reach out to him and see if he consider coming on? And if he does, you can just let me know and we can exchange information. He can email me or just call me. It doesn't really matter.
okay, sounds good. Yeah, I'll reach out to him. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I think that's it for the show. We had 1 hour and 20 minutes, so we're gonna go ahead and end it. We're gonna go ahead and end this thing right now because I know we can keep on going on and on and on. So I want to thank everybody for staying to the end who is still here. I want to thank y'all for staying. Thank y'all for supporting the channel. Thank you to Dante for coming on. Thank you for Marion for coming on. And we hope to see y'all next time back at Trades Unjudged Podcast. And in these times right now, keep your head up. It's gonna be some struggles, gonna be some hardship, but we got to keep going. We got to keep going because it's gonna be a better day the next day. We'll see y'all next time back at United Tradesman Academy, Trades Unjudged Podcast. See y'all later.